Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present my analysis of the engagement survey data. I must admit it was heartening to note that the engagement does play a very crucial and significant role in our business outcomes. So, without any further ado, we will discuss and present my findings from the survey for the next few minutes. This survey was extended to 110 work units in our organization across the country, and it was taken by almost 86% of our employees across work units. Now, one aspect that needs to be specifically called out here is that since we are relatively new as an organization, it is expected and assumed, and it is also natural for our employees to feel a little overwhelmed and sometimes curious and even agitated at times. So, with that as an assumption, and with the fact that we are a relatively new organization, our survey results have been pretty encouraging. So, a highly engaged workforce with HR programs and policies in that direction would mean a world of good, both for employees and for our organization as a whole. Now, one key feature that I'd like to call out is that our customer satisfaction scores have seen an upward trend with increased engagement levels. Very specifically, I wish to call out that employees were given a variety of tasks, were enthusiastic, and hence were able to translate that to the customer, which in turn resulted in increased customer feedback scores. I mean, customer satisfaction scores, I beg your pardon. Now, and thanks to the manager because he provided them with a variety of tasks to work on. So, this indicates that we as a team need to focus on flexibility in our job rotation plan and policy. And our training programs will also have to be agile enough to support this cause, which in turn would foster faster growth for our employees, and which also means a good relationship that we possess with the customer in the days to come. Now, training programs which include this philosophy needs to be driven across the organization. And one factor that needs special mention here is that managers will need to be comfortable with this change. So, training programs which will enable managers to imbibe themselves into this culture is also essential and is a key action item for the HR team with this point as a major driving force. Now, another major call out factor here is that we would be working in a highly competitive work environment, which means our costs will also be taken into account every now and then. So, there is a need, an industry need, in terms of cost and in terms of peer pressure, that we need to focus and invest a little more on automation and automation tools. Now, that would mean two advantages. One, there's going to be time and cost saving. And two, it is also going to create a sense of excitement amongst employees that they are going to be using automation tools, which is a little different from their mundane tasks, which they will be doing every day. And this would also mean that they could save on time and effort that they would have invested so far in the same piece of work that they would have been working on. Now, this would also mean cost saving for us. How? Because we will not need to pay our employees as much overtime as we are doing right now. So automation means reduced effort, which also means reduced costs. The next key feature or recommendation here is that because we are working on with a set of employees who will need to be highly skilled and at the same time engaged, the last thing we'd want to see is them to be micromanaged by their managers. Now, this needs to have a cultural shift in the organization because managers will need to be educated and enabled with this piece of information. We need to provide employees that creative space and time and the tools and instruments to ensure that they provide the desired outcome that the organization wants. So, this was also one of the key features that came out as a result of the survey. So, in summary, based on our findings, to achieve what we long for, a highly engaged and skilled workforce is the need of the hour. So, to ensure this happens, our HR programs need to be aligned accordingly. Some of them include adequate rewards for those showcasing enthusiasm in automation, performance management systems to be designed in a way that would encourage job rotation, and also enablement sessions for our managers to to direct employees in the right direction of growth and not micromanage them unless there is an absolute necessity. Thank you so much.